Bobo eat
Yes,
swimmy.
family, black again. Now, just a little more on the topic of what Rastas eat. Well, I would more zero into Baba Shanti, the house of Baba Shanti, or, the kingdom of Baba Shanti. The reason why, because His Majesty Rastafari of Ethiopia, he told all the people of Ethiopia and around the world that we must follow Christ, So doing what His Majesty say, we follow the Black Christ teachings. Now the Black Christ teachings is in the Bible, 2,000 years ago. Christ eat fish and bread, amen. Also Christ keep Passover. That's another video I want to do on, Christ keeping Passover. But, it's known that Christ eat more fish and bread, amen. So even in this time, 2,000 years later, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the Black Christ in Jamaica, what we accept as the Black Christ return, the Black Jesus Christ return. The man do the same thing, he eat fish and bread. On the Bobo Hill, King Emmanuel teach us to eat, small fish, smaller than 12 inches, 9 inches. We call them swimmy, you eat swimmy and your bread, vegetables, fruits, whatever. But, in the Bobo camp, we don't eat chicken and turkey and all them different things. It's not cooked in our kitchen, you see, because we have an international kitchen, we cook for the whole camp. So the food going up in the kitchen is sometimes swimmies, idle food, Yeah, bread and things like that. Now, at one point, Emmanuel Charles Edwards did hold, just like Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, the man keep the commemoration of, us exiting out of Egypt, which is known as the Passover, you see. And the man did cook, little different meats and things for the people just to keep the Passover. But on top of the Baba Shanti eating fish and idol and bread, we don't eat fish all the time, all the year round. During the lentil season, we refrain from all meats, all wines and different, like processed, like flour, sugar, anything like that of that nature. We stay away from yeast, we stay away from, as much processed things in the whole as a Bobo, family. We try not to use processed products, you see. But, yeah, I've heard, of, the King Emmanuel, using little milk and thing, so I wouldn't say the Bobo Shanti is 100% Presbyterian, because, some of them use milk, which is still dairy product, to an extent, So that's basically the livity of Bobo Shanti. Bobo Shanti is a little swimmy, and like I say, during Lent, we don't eat no meat for 40 days. So we kind of purge our body from meat. Some Bobo Shanti don't eat meat at all. Some of them don't eat meat at all. But at the same time, like Emmanuel, the Father never condemned no one, who eat meat. So if you come to the Bobo camp and you eat chicken, and you eat, turkey or whatever, and you come to the Bobo camp, you would have to find access to that when you go on the road, however, but, you're still allowed to come in the camp and learn the culture, and learn the livity, It's like, it really ain't no condemnation, to a man in our camp. You can't really condemn a man, so if a man out there eating meat or chicken, you can't condemn him, that's where he is at his stage of life, for him to bill himself, to certain things, to probably fish, and some people is bill themselves where they don't eat meat at all, so it's just different approaches to, how we deal with the dietary foods. But as a staple, as Bobo Shanti, fish fish and bread and veggies, fruit, stuff like that. That's most common, the staple dish for Bobo Shanti. As far as we'll go, as to say meat, yeah, we don't incorporate chicken and those different stuff into our daily, servants. So that's what make Bobo Shanti a little different, in its own self too. In that we just follow what Christ do. And like I say, to an extent, some Bobo them, they still is like, from Bobo them is eat conch, some Bobo them is eat different things, Yeah, they eat different shellfish but it's poison to poison. It's not something we keep up in our kitchen. We don't cook shrimp and none of them things could cook in the Bobo kitchen, you see. So personally, people working on their individual diets. But there's no condemnation. You couldn't condemn a man because he eats shrimp. You could say, well, Bobo, that ain't our diet, and that ain't, that ain't really fully like what we tried. But as to condemn the man and say, man, you is a devil and you evil and God can never save you because you eating shrimp. No, that ain't. God come for the lost. He come for those who, eating every this and that and just to bring everyone to a more refined lifestyle. So again, and then salvation is more in love. It's the more way you love your brother and your sister. That's more important than anything in Bobo Shanti. It's the way we love each other and we take care of each other and we look out for each other. So it is, the food part comes second. We call that carnal things. Food, sex, all those different fleshy things. We call them carnal things. That's like a carnal meditation. You see, you're really dealing with the flesh. You see, flesh full of weakness and all kind of different things. But the Bobo Shanti, we don't just focus on the physical part. We focus on the spiritual part too, which is just understanding. Yeah, the understanding, praise God, that we come for bring salvation to people. So when you bring in salvation to people, you have to deal with people where they at. Because that's the position of where their life is. And from you don't come to condemn no one, you have to take them up where they at, you see. And accept them for they is and still show the love. So Bobo Shanti is about love, Same as the king. The king is more about love. The king more concerned about love and respect, justice for the people, more than what to say to eat. Rastafari, we speak a little on his diet later on in his life, how he eats small and, rest a little to stay busy. You understand? So outside of that, the king more focus on the development of Africa and black African people. And that's Bobo Shanti. Bobo Shanti come to focus more on the governmental, paramental, churchical, statical, sabbatical part of Rastafari, to deal more for the justice of the people, and the redemption of the people, and same time repatriation, the reparation for the people. The food is something we come around to. But when our principle is hungry, be fed. So irregardless, if a man eating and he full in his bed, he give thanks, because hungry be fed. Much less to let the man starve. So that's why Bobo don't really condemn a man. If I go on the street and I meet a man eating a Kong burger, I can't really condemn the man because he ain't starving, he getting belly full. And I didn't prepare a meal for him. So I can't really say nothing. If he hungry and then I say, hey, I have some food for you. Yeah, that may could avoid him from going to eat certain things. But because he don't have no one, he don't have nothing, and this what he could have access to, I couldn't condemn the man in any way. You see, so even if that's what he chose to eat, I can condemn him. I can't call him a sinner, an evil person, because of what he eating. Now if he go around, he's stealing, he robbing, he raping, committing homosexual acts, he lying on people's name,